Hello, Internet. My name is Vic, and there are some things that I would like to talk about in the trans community that kind of have my boxers in a bunch. So, I know you may be thinking, Vic, how can you miss your 2-month update and put it in your 3-month update video, not give us any content, and then all of a sudden you're giving us content back to back? What's going on, man? I don't know. I don't go into work till 2 today. I have some free time. In my free time, I want to talk about some major topics, but I want to kind of condense them because there's plenty of YouTubers who have touched on these topics before that you can go watch their videos. I've been watching their videos lately, and I've just been kind of like, I do want to say my piece on it. So there's a couple things I want to touch on. One of the first ones, and the one that's kind of getting me all like irritated, is, do you have to have dysphoria to be trans? Now, before I even get into any of this, I just want to say, these are my opinions. Just because I have a different opinion than you doesn't mean that you're wrong, doesn't mean that I hate you, doesn't mean that we can't be friends or can't talk. It doesn't mean that I am an ignorant piece of shit, or you are an ignorant piece of shit. It's just, this is my opinion, this is how I feel about the subject matter, and I just want to express my opinion. If you don't agree, that's fine. If you don't like what I have to say, that's fine too. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I just want to share how I feel about it. I'm up for a discussion. That's completely fine with me. I don't mind discussing opinions, but again, I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just sharing how I feel. So, do you need dysphoria to be trans? I think you do. I've seen and read all the arguments on why you don't, and I just don't get it. As a trans man myself, I have dysphoria, and it's pretty bad. Now, there are different degrees of dysphoria. There's some trans people who have dysphoria to where they want a surgery and then they're done. A good example I can think of off the top of my head is Ryan Casada. He had dysphoria about his chest, so he got top surgery. However, he's not on hormones. Some people are like, why aren't you on hormones? Freaking out about that. That's his personal medical decision. He doesn't want to medically take hormones. He just wanted to have top surgery because he was dysphoric about his chest. Now, when it comes to me with my dysphoria, I want hormones and I want top surgery for sure. Bottom surgery I'm still kind of iffy about because it looks terrifying, but I am not comfortable with my anatomy, top or bottom, so I do want something. And maybe being on T, my bottom growth will be enough for me to be okay, but as far as it goes right now, I just really want top surgery, and I'm on hormones right now. So, my hormones have alleviated some of my dysphoria so far, but I still have it. Dysphoria is powerful, it's strong, and I think, honestly, in my opinion, dysphoria is what makes trans people trans. It's what makes you want to transition. The trans means transition. It stands for transition. So when you're a trans male, you're transitioning from biological female to male. When you're a trans woman, you're transitioning from biologically assigned at birth male to female. You're transitioning. So, to me, you can't have someone be trans without the dysphoria, without the, I don't like this about me. And it's not just, it's not like me saying, I don't like my nose, so I want a nose job. That's different. Dysphoria is where your mind doesn't match your anatomy. So, like, in my head, I feel male. I know I'm male. I'm 100%, 110% positive I'm male. My body does not match that. At birth, I was assigned female. So yes, I do think you have to have dysphoria in order to be trans. Now, there is an argument where you don't have to have dysphoria, but you can have gender euphoria, where, if someone uses the correct pronouns, or if someone genders you correctly or uses your preferred name, that it makes you feel like happy, it makes you feel euphoric, it makes you like, ooh, like, yay, but euphoria is an emotion. Euphoria is there and then it's gone. Euphoria, you can feel euphoric about different things. You can feel euphoric about, like, a band if you go see them in concert. When you leave, you have a feeling of euphoria because you just saw your favorite band live and they're awesome, and you got to experience that. That's euphoria. But eventually, post-concert depression hits, and then you're like, damn, I want to go back, take me back. So it's gone. So I think gender euphoria is just a feeling. Dysphoria is not just a feeling, it's like a mindset. It's like something that genuinely, like, bothers you. There are people who have taken their lives because of dysphoria. So that's my opinion on that. I do think you have to have dysphoria in order to be trans. So another thing I wanted to talk about is, now I know I'm going to get backlash for this, and this is something where I'm not trying to invalidate anybody. Everyone's valid, everyone is entitled to their opinion, to their feelings, their emotion, all that. So, but I'm really having a hard time understanding otherkin, or, like, the age thing that goes with trans. So, many of you may have seen it, but I know Sam Collins talked about it. There is a person who identifies as a 6-year-old, and to me that just doesn't make any kind of sense. You can't just decide that you want to be a certain age. Same thing with, like, otherkin, people who claim that they are, wolfkin, or grasskin, or galaxykin, or, some kind of inanimate objectkin, or another species. That's just, to me, that just doesn't make sense. We're all, like, we're humans, we're people, so we can't be a wolf, we can't be a cat, we can't be a dog, we can't be a snake, we can't be a lawn, we can't be a star, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that you can be something outside of the human realm. You can't be an elf, you can't be a dragon, you can't be a fairy, you can't be a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Like, these things, it's where we cross fiction with truth, and that kind of bothers me because it gives the whole entire trans community a bad light. People may see that and be like, that's fucking ridiculous, and then they look at a trans man or a trans woman and they're like, are you like that? Like, are you one of them? And there's a lot of, like, bad media and publicity around being trans, and it pisses me off, and I'm not, I don't know, there's SJWs, and there's the medical trans community, and they constantly, like, butt heads, they battle each other, and, like, SJW, social justice warrior, they're very, sensitive, they're very, like, don't trigger me, don't hurt my feelings, don't offend me, and a lot of people who are SJW, they identify as, like, non-binary, or I don't identify as a person, I don't identify as a gender. Gender is a social construct. That pisses me off as well. Gender is not a social construct. It's not. There are male, there are female people. You know what I mean? Like, that's just medically, medically, when you are born, doctors look at your genitalia, they look at your anatomy, and they say, okay, this is a boy, this is a girl. Later in life, if that person has dysphoria and their mind doesn't match their body, then they can transition, but gender is real. It's not a social construct, it's a real thing. And I think that's where it kind of throws everything for a loop, because it's like people are saying that gender doesn't exist. It does exist. It does. It is. It's there. Now, as far as gender roles, that is a social construct. That only boys can dress a certain way and act a certain way and look a certain way and be a certain way. And only girls can dress a certain way, act a certain way, you know. Only girls can wear makeup and paint their nails. Only boys can join the military or be a truck driver or be a firefighter. You know, like things like that. That is a society thing. When I was a kid, in the 90s, gender roles were very set in stone. They were very, the woman is supposed to bear children, be a housemaker, you know, feed her husband, her children, you know, stay-at-home mom type thing. Then the man was supposed to go out, get the money, you know, work hard, come home, and be pampered by his wife. That was the way it was in the 90s. And at least where I grew up. And it was a very, like, expected thing in society for you to, you know, if you're a woman, to get pregnant, have children, get married, have that standard life. And growing up, before I really had a personality, and when I was just kind of a baby, doing my little baby thing, my parents were dressing me in, you know, feminine clothes, dresses and stuff. Like, my mom wanted me to be a certain way, act a certain way. Before I had my personality, and before I, could talk for myself, I may have portrayed more feminine aspects. But the older I got, the more I kind of developed into my personality, the more I got, stubborn, hard-headed, wanted to play outside, wanted to do my own thing. It was then that, and I didn't know what trans was, obviously, but it was then that there was something different about me. Growing up, I always felt like I was different. I wasn't the way I was supposed to be. So it was just, and growing up with that expectancy and with that, you know, you have to be this way, I rebelled. And it was really that's the way they look at it. My family, my parents, they look at it like I didn't want to fit into this box, so I made my own box. And it's just a phase, and it's something that I'm confused about, and it's something that I'm never gonna, achieve, and I just should stick to how I was born, And that's just my family. That's how they are. So it was very rough on me growing up, and in my high school years and early adulthood years when I was still living at home, where I felt like they were trying to force me to fit in this box, and I couldn't fit in this box. There is a spectrum, yes, but the spectrum is not just like you can be whatever you want. You can be an animal. You can be an inanimate object. It's not that. It's just you can be who you want, but who you want doesn't have to be determined by society. That is where the social construct comes from. The learned behavior, the way you act, the way you treat people. That's more of a social construct than gender. And it really annoys me. I personally think that there's male and female, and I think as far as gender fluid and non-binary go, now this is coming from somebody who used to identify as gender fluid for a short period of time, but I don't think that necessarily is gender. I think it's more portrayal. Now, people who claim that they're gender fluid, they may be very in touch with their feminine and masculine side, so they may one day want to wear a dress, paint their nails, put on makeup, present as a female in public, and then maybe a few days down the road they want to dress masculine, take their makeup off, cut their hair short, and short hair doesn't mean anything, but I'm just saying as society sees it. Thank you. So anyway, they want to portray a more masculine thing, use the men's bathroom. Maybe one day they want to use the women's bathroom. Bathroom's a bathroom, but still, in public, in society, people see you as whatever bathroom you use, honestly. That's how people look at it. They're like, you're going in the men's room? You must be a man, and that's not always true. But what I'm saying is, with gender fluidity, it's almost like it's up to you how you want to portray yourself in society, but that doesn't mean your gender changes. To me, I think there's male and female. That's just how I believe. And I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for that. But it's okay to be assigned male at birth and want to portray a woman at times, but not want surgery. That's fine. But don't call yourself trans. Because if you don't feel dysphoria, if you don't have that dysphoric thing about you, you just one day want to paint your nails and, wear a dress and go out in society as a woman. But if you're called a man, if it doesn't, bother you, if it doesn't make you feel like shit, then you're not a trans woman. You're just someone who likes to portray one or the other. And then as far as the people go who use pronouns that are like zir, that just doesn't make sense to me. It's they or them, which is where you're you don't really care, or you're I don't know. And then there's he, him, she, her. To me, I don't understand the non-binary thing. If you don't have dysphoria and you're comfortable with your body and you don't want to go on hormones, you're not trans. You can't say you're trans, to me. Now, I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'm not trying to say, okay, you have to fit this criteria or you can't sit with us. It's not like that. It's nothing like that. And I'm not trying to invalidate anybody. I'm just stating my opinion that I don't really think non-binary is a thing. I don't really think that you can be trans without dysphoria. I just don't think that it works that way. Again, I'm open to discussion. I'm open to your opinions, but I just don't understand. I think maybe if you educate me a little bit more on it, I could grasp it, but I really just don't get it. Same thing with otherkin and animalkin and all that stuff. I don't think that's a thing. And I think the problem with that is people see that, cis people, and they think that all trans people are like that. That you can just switch up what you want to present as in public. You can just switch up who you want to be, how you want to identify, and it doesn't work that way. To me, I think you feel strongly that you are male, but you have the anatomy of a female, but you want to get surgery to change it. You want to go on hormones to help alleviate the dysphoria, to give you traits that would make you more passable in society. That makes you trans. Same thing for trans women. So I don't know. It's just something I've been wanting to talk about. I also don't think that babies should be given gender neutral pronouns until they decide or until they come to the conclusion of what they are or how they want to identify. I don't think that should be a thing either. So that's just me. That's my opinion. And yeah, don't hate me. Don't be mad at me. But that's just how I see it. That's just how I feel. And yeah, so there it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree, if you disagree, if you hate me, if you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm just uneducated and don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. And we can have a discussion. But I won't tolerate people telling me that I'm wrong and telling me that I'm stupid for having an opinion. So, catch you in whatever video I make next. Have a good one.